stands at the center of a shocking crime. Police had brought Carpio in for questioning about the stabbing of an 85-year-old woman, but during the interview, events took a tragic turn. With only Carpio and Detective Sergeant James Allen in the room, another officer briefly stepped out to get Carpio some water. That's when Carpio seized the opportunity, grabbed Detective Allen's gun, and fatally shot him twice before making a desperate escape through a third-story window. His freedom was short-lived, though, as police captured him just 45 minutes later. At his arraignment, Carpio entered the courtroom wearing a mask intended to prevent spitting or biting, and his face was visibly bruised. His appearance led to an emotional reaction, with family members accusing the police of brutality.
Step up. You already have it.
Not guilty! I'm not guilty, Stephen!
It's police brutality. He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried, and he didn't deserve this.
However, an FBI investigation later confirmed that Carpio's injuries were from his jump and struggle with police, not excessive force. In the end, Carpio was sentenced to life in prison without...
Every day, I face the facts of what I did and what happened.
He was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
We're covering a tragic case from Cedar Springs, Michigan, involving Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari, a religious farming couple now facing murder charges. Their 10-month-old daughter, Mary Welch, passed away after, reportedly, they chose not to seek medical care for her, citing religious beliefs and a deep mistrust of medicine and government intervention. When the father found Mary unresponsive, he made a chilling 911 call that marked the start of an intense investigation.
How long ago did you find this child?
It's about an hour and a half. I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I could do.
So you found the child an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
And called your lawyer first, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time you had contact with a child?
Last night, yesterday afternoon, about 3 p.m. She goes to bed, and that was that.
Okay, so you put her to bed yesterday at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, and then this morning at 10.
So you're saying it is normal for your children to sleep from around 3 p.m. till 10 a.m.?
Usually about 9:30, yeah.
And you said when you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right?
Yes.
And that's when you consulted with a lawyer?
Yep.
Do you believe she was beyond help already?
Oh, yeah, she was dead as a doormat.
An autopsy later confirmed the devastating cause of death, malnutrition, and dehydration due to neglect. The case took a somber turn when the courtroom announced they'd spend the rest of their lives in prison, a moment heavy with the realization of the consequences.
That you're both charged with what they call felony murder, while in the perpetration or attempted perpetration of child abuse in the first degree, they're alleging that you murdered one Mary Welch. That is a charge called homicide felony murder. It is life without parole. It requires a DNA sample to be taken upon arrest, which is often like a cotton swab or in the inside of your cheek. The second offense that you're both charged with is called child abuse in the first degree, where they're alleging you knowingly or intentionally caused serious physical harm to a child. They're talking about this Mary Welch. It is a felony, possible penalty of up to life imprisonment or any term of years.
We're following a wild crime spree that took place across 5 counties in Colorado, led by a man named Brian Stone. This high-stakes chase, which even made it to live TV thanks to a news helicopter, involved 3 carjackings, one with a 4-year-old inside the vehicle. The chase was intense, with Stone reaching speeds over 100 mph, narrowly missing a Colorado State Patrol trooper attempting to deploy stop sticks. That trooper ended up with serious injuries after Stone clipped him and sped away. The chaos continued as Stone pulled yet another victim from their car and fled into a busy intersection. When the car couldn't take him any further, the chase went on foot. In the dramatic ending, Stone sprinted through a parking lot, slipping on ice and even losing his jacket. He made one last attempt to scale a fence, but it was too high, and with the police closing in, he finally surrendered. Now behind bars, Stone reportedly believes he deserves payment for his internet fame and bragged about the chase to friends.
Hey, did you know I made the news in the UK and Australia? What? Yeah, you get paid by YouTube. So, Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets paid for that. Well, I'm going to contact Channel 7 News. I want to get paid. You guys are getting paid using my name and my video footage.
When given a chance to address the court, he blamed his actions on emotional stress and drug use.
We are going through trial after that. It was a week-and-a-half trial. Extremely stressful. One of the phone calls about seeming like I was bragging about making international news, this, that, and the other. That was within the first week of being arrested. Still coming off of drugs.
Stone was convicted on 18 charges, including attempted manslaughter, child abuse, and assault, and was sentenced to 160 years in prison. We're in a Cincinnati, Ohio courtroom where Jaleel Smith Riley faces the consequences of a violent crime. Police say he confessed to a robbery that left 20-year-old Portia Brooks dead and her boyfriend, Aaron Martin, with severe, life-changing injuries. Here's what happened. Portia and Aaron were sitting in her car when Smith Riley, accompanied by two others, approached them intending to rob them. But when Smith Riley discovered Aaron didn't have any cash, he reacted with shocking brutality, shooting him in the head and leaving him with permanent brain damage. Tragically, Portia was also shot and succumbed to her injuries 3 days later.
Sorry. Go back and win. I just want to come home with this.
This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
In this emotional moment, we hear from Portia's family. Her mother steps up to deliver a heart-wrenching victim impact statement.
But he killed me mentally, emotionally. He killed my identity as a mother of 3, as a family of 4.
Followed by Portia's sister, who speaks directly to the courtroom.
I have to deal with life without Portia, so he should deal with life without parole.
This is the scene just before Jaleel Smith Riley receives the devastating news that he will never walk free again. Let me know your thoughts on this case in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime updates.
Defendant serve a term of life without parole. As to count 4 for the offense of attempted murder.
This story dives into a twisted tale of betrayal and murder in Carlsbad, California, involving Diana Lovejoy and her ex-husband, Greg Malvihill. Once married and living a seemingly ordinary life, their relationship took a dark turn after a bitter divorce. Following a tough legal battle, the court ordered Diana to pay Greg $20,000 for his share of their family home and to split custody of their son. This didn't sit well with Diana, who was furious over the outcome. In a shocking turn of events, Diana plotted to kill her ex-husband, teaming up with her boyfriend, Weldon McDavid, in an attempt to end Greg's life. During an ambush, Greg was shot in the torso. Fortunately, he survived, narrowly escaping fatal injury. The courtroom drama peaked when Diana faced her verdict.
It's so painful that some people in this world seem to think that I would have it in me to do this.
Just as the jury declared her guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, she fainted, collapsing dramatically at the defense table, bringing a sudden hush to the room.
Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of attempted murder of Greg, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're going to need to take a break.
With her family's cries echoing in the background, medics rushed in, only to find she had merely fainted, not suffered any serious health issue. Weldon McDavid, the gunman, was sentenced to 50 years to life, while Diana received 26 years to life for her role in the conspiracy.